Hi guys, Fishy here with another video for today. Yesterday I was lucky enough to go back to Chichester, a place I used to live for a long time, and meet up a lot of my friends. I actually went to their locals. It's the first time I've played at Chai Locals in probably about 3 years. First time I've actually been in that area of the shop as well. It was really nice to go down and see some people that I do miss. So if you're watching this video from Chai, it was really nice to see you guys, honestly. I wish I could come down more and just have a bit more fun. Anyway guys, at the event I played Spright. I've been seeing a lot of success with this deck recently, and obviously this is the first event I've been to since the new ban list where they unfortunately banned Ronin Toad. While I was there I managed to come second. I also won this mat, which was really nice. I think it's quite nice. Don't know how much it is, but I really liked it because it's the Albaz art and I love the Albaz art. I might go back and play a bit of Albaz as well. I'm still on Spright because I think that to me is my favourite version of Spright currently. I had to throw in a few different engines because obviously I'm not playing any frogs in this build. You can still play 2 swap frog and then make Toad that way, but I feel like that's non-optimal. So I'm playing no Toad at all. We're just playing basically pure Spright with a few other engines to bolster it up. My only loss was to Runic Spright, so I effectively lost the mirror match. We went to game 3. And Runic Spright is really good, like really good. The amount of consistency that deck has, where every spell is basically a level 2, and all of them are imperms or pops and stuff, and it's just like, oh, great. This deck's really good. But yeah, Spright is still my favourite version, just because in certain matchups you can just basically auto win. Anyway guys, I will go into the profile. Any questions, as always, please feel free to leave in a comment below. Otherwise, let's just crack on to it. So the main deck is very simple. Obviously, by now you should know most of the Spright stuff. If you're new to Spright, again, feel free to use this as a sort of like guide on some of your ratios. There's no wrong way to play Spright unless you played no blue. So for us, we're playing 3 blue. It's probably the best Spright monster. 3 jet, a standard, 2 red, 1 carrot, 1 pixies. I'm playing 10 names. I've always wanted to play 10 names. A few players play 9 names and they find that is better. For me, I want to see 10 names because every one of these cards is a good card. They're an extender. You can't see too many Sprights in my opinion because it just lets you play through things. I had a great game against True Draco. Obviously Dynamite's back at 3. That deck's kind of scary now. I almost played it myself. And I just managed to play through his board because of A, another card, and B, because of all these Spright cards. Just go, yes I want to summon, yes I want to summon. As long as you have a level 2 or link 2 or rank 2 on board, depending on which one they are, these will be live cards in your hand. Shout out to Pixies. He's won me a few games now from yesterday just because he's an honest effect. My opponent made a few sort of like literally omni negate skill drains for my board. I was like, okay, Pixies clears the problem. As long as you've got Pixies, you just beat over any issue. Other engines, we're still playing my favourite level 2 Cyber Dragon Core now. This card is really, really good. Obviously, it's mandatory effect, so on summon they have to, they can have the opportunity to disrupt it. With Toad, now seeing less play, that's not as a big a problem, because Toad, obviously, they negate it and they steal it and they have a level 2. But with less people playing Toad, it's not so much problem. The only problem you really care about is, like, Gamma, when you go first and they can, like, clear level 2. But, again, that doesn't matter, because if they Gamma you, you just search Rev System, bring back the level 2, and then like that, you just don't get the trap card. So it's still a really, really good card. Obviously, you can contact views as well, your opponent's extra deck stuff, which did come up yesterday. One thing of note, I guess, is my opponent, the True Draco player, flipped Rivalry on me. No, sorry, he flipped Tikaboo on me, which wasn't a massive problem, but it did mean that I had to jump through some hoops to go into Zeus, because obviously this is a machine. Rivalry would hurt a lot more. Tikaboo, thankfully, we can still play through, mostly, especially with this build. So 3 core, 1 Lilybell. Obviously, we're playing the Trickstar package now. This is really, really good. Oh, look, I search and I summon. That's really nice. The only problem is, obviously, if you search it, it's like a really dead card, which is a problem. It can also come up if you're near to time. You can attack your opponent directly for 800. I've never done it, but it might come up one day. And then Ibly. For a long time, I was thinking, what do we summon off Gigantic now? So obviously, with no swap frog in the deck, I'm like, oh, Gigantic. I could summon a Carrot, summon a red, and go like Sprite control. Sometimes I do that depending on the matchup. Most of the time now, I'm just giving my opponent this blind. If they're on tier danger, which I think is the best deck of the format, then it kind of screws them up. They have to commit a normal summon and try and link off. Or the only real out is Econ. Annoyingly, yesterday against the Runic Spright player, I put him on tier, and then I blind gave him this, and was like, yep, go on. Even if you're playing Spright, I have smashes and overflow for your normal summon. This should be fine. And then he just econ, tribute this, take my my elf and standby phase, so I can't even chain the elf. Like, oh, damn. So there can be some downsides to giving your opponent a free level 2 monster, but otherwise I think this is like the best blind going first. Gives them gigantic from this card. Also turns off things like evenly matched and storm if they're playing that. Unfortunately not dark ruler. Hand traps, we're playing quick math, 12 hand traps, 3 ash, 3 imperm, 3 crow, 3 nibiru. These are the hand traps I think are the most relevant to this format. I still think ash is good. A lot of people are cutting ash because it doesn't really do much to tier or necessarily Spright, as long as they have, you know, certain other cards in hand. But I think it's just so generic, it's every deck in the format. So yesterday I played against Drytron, Runic Spright, Luna Tri Scareclaw, and then I played against True Draco. And obviously the only loss I was around 2. Ash came up in all of those matchups ideally. So that was really nice. Ash is really good, especially in game 2 if they have like a prosp. You're like, no, I don't need to see a side card. I will prosp it now. I've learned that mistake. Thank you, disciples. 3 starter, standard, 1 smashes because it's a good card. 2 emergency, this gets you your core, the rotor. Rev system, MVP of yesterday by far. Rev system, at first I was like, maybe I won't play it in the main. Obviously the guy who played this on Hukuna My Data's channel a while ago, he didn't play Rev system, he took it out. I'm never taking this card out. Against a True Draco player, obviously when the True Draco traps get tributed, they pop a card. So you had Majesty Maiden, normal summon call, effect to search, chain maiden, add dynamite. I added this because obviously going second, and then he dynamite tribute summons in my turn using his trap card pop core. You now have no level 2 on board. You have to have an extender. Activate River System, bring back the core. Core can now not be destroyed by card effects, so he can't do it again. He cannot get rid of this level 2 on board. And then obviously, like I said earlier, all the sprites in my hand were just, okay, we go. And as many times as he removed the level 2s, it doesn't matter because there was always going to be one on board. Eventually it enabled me to Zeus him, and I want you guys to watch the replay. It'll be posted later on. Shannon on True Draco had gone through, I think, like 4 or 5 draw cards. He went Heritage Draw 2, Desires, Upstart, Card of Demise, Pot of Duality, all of the cards. He'd cycled through everything. He had 7 cards on board. And then the satisfaction of just Zeusing him for all of that was really good. And it just shows that if you have the right engines, you can play through pretty much everything, as long as it's not just a flip rivalry, which would have really hurt. Also playing the Everflow as part of the cyber package. So if you're going first, you search this because it's basically extra smashes. You just pop the card, remove a thing. The last engine, or main deck engine, I guess, was obviously the Light Stage engine with the Lilybell. This is really nice. Having 3 of this now is really consistent because with no Swap Frog and Ronin, we don't have a lot of extenders necessarily, especially going late game 2. Sorry, late turn 2, turn 3, whatever you want to call it. So you just draw Light Stage. Oh, okay. Level 2, special summon the sprites, or use the starters you've searched, and then you just go off that way. Also, the effect to shut down back row is really good, especially in the Scareclaw matchup. They do have a lot of back row. And this just like, yep, you use it now or forever hold your peace, which was really nice. And then finally, the last 3 cards, 2 Prosp, 1 Called. I still only own 2 Prosp. I still think it's a good card to include even at 2. Normally I'm finding myself digging for 6, because I just want to see core as best I can. And the extra deck, in my opinion, is, in my extra deck, I've got a lot of stuff that I can just get rid of because it's never really going to come up matchup, depending if I go first or second. Onto the extra deck now. I'm playing 3 elf. Obviously something had to go in for the toad I took out, and for me it was just the elf. It can come up in the grind game. Sometimes I banish one of these off the pros just because I'm probably not going to go into it. And if I'm looking at my hand and going, oh, this will be a grindy hand, keep it. If I feel like I can just push through my opponent's board going, so I go first, look at my hand, yeah, my opponent probably won't break this, then I just get rid of an elf and go back to 2 elf, because it worked before, it'll work again. Mirage, this comes up only now with the core line. So say if you open core and 4 hand traps, so you core, ash, DD Crow, imperm. So okay, this is an interesting hand. You normal the core, search rev system, Make Almirage, a Rev System, bring back the core. Make Elf, bring back the core, overlay the core, and Elf for Gigantic. Gigantic effects on blue, and you go off that way. You don't get the Elf effect to bring back something back. You just sit on an Elf and then their turn you bring back something back. But you still end on like Elf Red, Gigantic, and like 4 hand traps. So it should be enough, hopefully. But that's why Almirage is in here, just in case those clutch things come up. The one dark, just to snipe your opponent's stuff from the deck and try and link climb up. It's also really nice if your opponent has one blue and you don't, you just, steal your opponent's blue and use the effect. Unicorn, normally this just gets prossed away, but it's there to clear your own nib token. Boral Sword is how I'm going for game. Again, I don't think access code works in this build, so Boral Sword is nice. I thought I had game against a Runic player because I gave him a nib token, it was like 5k. I played through all of his interruptions that are on board. He had a set smashes, I cleared that. And then I made Boral Sword, Gigantic, blue. I'm like, alright, this is easy game. Declare an attack. Because he has Fountain, the Runic field spell on board, I completely forgot you can activate the Runic stuff from hand. So he goes, okay, Freezing Flames, or the Fire one, whatever it is, that pops a card. So, okay, from hand, quick play, pop your Boral Sword. And then I was staring down a 5k nib with nothing on board to clear it. So, I was like, yeah, that's a good card. 2 Gigantic, standard really. Omnibaru, again, this is there to clear the nib token. Also came up against the Draco player, was on 1750. Yeah, the Majesty Maiden on board with nothing, like no other spells and traps, always tribute summon or something. So just summoned this, return whatever it was to hand, and then attack the game. That's really nice. Skycav, obviously your Zeus line. This is like your go-to plan going second. And then finally, Chimeritic Fleet and Fortress Dragon for the core. If your opponent's on something like Therion, ABC, Drytron, whatever you can think of that leaves machines on board, then you can just suck them up into this. And then the Mega Fleet is the one that actually comes up more often, because obviously whatever's your opponent's AMZ and an Appaloosa and Elf. The Drytron player made a Link Rebo IP, and the Draco Overlord, the Floodgate that just negates all like XYZs, synchros and fusions and turn skips. I impermed the turn skip, thankfully, but I was like, oh, okay, that's an annoying card. Thankfully managed to out of Pixies, but this is really nice because it clears problem cards in EMZ. Finally, the side deck. The side deck is very geared towards hating back row, because I feel comfortable enough that I should be able to eke out a win against most of the combo decks. Obviously, Tier is still a very, very good deck. I'm relying on things like the Ibli engine and some certain other cards in the deck to deal with that. Also some side cards. But for the generic side, we've got Dynamo Wrestler Pankatops going second, just outs most boards. Red Resonator it has a relevant effect. It's a pretty good card. Smashers. I want to, at one point I was trying to main 2 Smashers. I was like flip-flopping in between, testing this deck, because obviously with the no Toad, I really want to just stop my opponent, maybe back row cards. 2 Smashers can come up a lot, but for me, 1 is still good, because I don't want to brick too many times on it. Harpies, 3 Twin now. This was the Ibli inside, but then obviously put Ibli in main, so that's there. 2 Cyclone, 3 Anti-Spell, 3 Mystic Mind, because it's still at 3. This is just my generic side for most of my decks that I play. The 3 Twins and the Cosmic allow me, and the Harpies allow me to play through most back row. Twin is better than, in my opinion, than Cosmic. Usually just hit 2 back row Floodgates. Anti-Spell is good to obviously stop Dark Ruler. It was good in the Mystic and the Runic matchup as well. Mystic Mine I didn't put in once yesterday, to be fair. No, I'd lie. I put it in against Drytron game 1. I just didn't see it. Reservations and Age, some of Gigantic and Pankatops as Pankatops. Anyway guys, that was my Cyber Spright deck profile. Any questions, as always, like I said, please feel free to leave below. I'm very happy to talk through this deck. Obviously, I've got my Euros invite with this deck as well before the ban list, so no Toad. Hopefully I will continue to play this deck at any competitive events I go to. You might see me flip-flop back to other fun decks now, maybe like Albaz, maybe some True Draco, because I want to play that deck with 3 Dynamite. It seems fun. Maybe some Fish. I know a few of you are waiting for Fish. I'm sorry. Shout outs I would like to give. Thank you to Luke for letting me stay at his last night, because obviously I was going to Chichester. It was quite nice to stay somewhere a bit closer. No, not thank you though for making me wait up until 3 AM to watch progression series. I never should have told you about that series. Also shout out to all the Chai guys, Boswell, Keeling, Ethan, Kieran, It was so nice to see you guys. Ali as well, Shannon, Adam, Tom. It was really nice. Honestly, I really miss you guys. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Goodbye.